See, we had a great time talking last week to Dr. Suresh Venkatesan. He is the chairman and CEO of Poet Technologies. And Poet has created this proprietary platform that is perfectly suited for the age of AI and ChatGPT. And Poet has made some pretty big waves in the industry in terms of a backbone infrastructure that sort of unlocks, I think their website says this, as unlocks the full potential of AI. We had such a great conversation with him that I needed to bring him back. I sort of feel like this is one of those things where he should bring his whole team in studio to walk us through what we're about to witness here. So once again, he joins us via Zoom here, Dr. Suresh Venkatesan. Thank you so much for swinging by again, and we want to continue the conversation, but before we do, can you bring us up to speed for the folks who didn't see you last time, Mike included, about what you guys do and how it fits into the world of AI, ChatGPT, and the world that we're about to enter into?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, look, AI has been all the rage. I mean, I don't need to tell you that. You know, but one of the requirements for AI is producing, you know, these optical transceiver components in extremely high volume and at low cost. And typically, you know, that paradigm of high volume and low cost has been, you know, institutionalized, if you will, in the world of semiconductors. You know, with semiconductor manufacturing over the past 30 years, does that through what is called Moore's law. You know, where every couple of years there's a new node. You know, productivity goes up, consumption goes up, volumes go up, cost comes down. Photonics hasn't seen that. You know, photonics does not have a Moore's law equivalent, if you will. And so what we've done at Poet is created a proprietary platform that, quote unquote, semiconductorizes photonics, right? It creates a Moore's law capability in terms of productivity, which is high volume production at low cost, to the world of photonics that hasn't seen this before.
Well,
and so
let me jump in here because I don't want to, for the people that don't understand this, that's critical, especially considering what came out yesterday with DeepSeek. Because if you think in terms of what you're talking about here, in terms of changing computing, changing the way we're about to do business, you just made it cheaper, you just made it easier on the environment, and we're not even getting started yet. I don't want people to let it pass over their heads what you're talking about here. We're talking about graphics processing units. You know, you've heard the stories about blockchain and about digital currency being such a burden on environmental because of all the computing and the footprint that it leaves. We're about to enter into a like space with AI and ChatGPT, and before we even get started, you've got a company here like Poet that's already sort of slayed that dragon. Am I being too simplified here, Doctor, or is that about right?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, the point is creating an infrastructure that can scale with the needs of the market and can scale with the needs of AI. I mean, you brought up DeepSeek. You know, I think you know, there is a paradox in the world, right? It's called Jevons paradox. This British economist in, I don't know, 19th century, you know, basically saw that as technology makes progress, you know, things get more efficient. And the paradox is, as things get more efficient, you would think you need less of it. But what actually happens is, as things get more efficient, more and more consumers come into play. And so you end up needing and using more of it, right? And so I know that there was a slay in the market yesterday with DeepSeek, but the reality is it's a more efficient potential software solution, right, for AI, which means it's going to bring more users. More users means more hardware, more data, more of everything, not less of everything. And so I think that paradox needs to be, you know, rationalized. It happens over and over again in technology, and so we see DeepSeek and other advances in software like DeepSeek to actually play into the strengths of Poet, which is create more demand and then be able to solution that demand with, you know, better manufacturing capability and technology.
So I'm going to make a comment here. DeepSeek did swoon yesterday, but everybody in that industry and anybody below $6 a share because of the algorithmic trading historical junk that happened yesterday across the board. So I don't want anybody to think it was criteria specific to an industry or anything like that. Mike?
Dr. Suresh Venkatesan, Chairman CEO of Poet Technologies. The ticker symbol is POET. Dr. Venkatesan, as far as AI and this whole new world that we are quickly being thrust into, do you welcome government intervention? Do you welcome the government eyeballs, or
potential mandate even?
Or mandate, or you're the mindset, please, no government, we've got this?
Well, look, I think we're in an industry where there needs to be some form of regulation, but the regulation needs to be measured and must not stifle innovation, right? So I think that balance is critically important. There are some thorny issues with AI, obviously. Government needed to get involved, and law needed to get involved to solve the writer's issue, right? In terms of blatant violation of proprietary capability and technology that was easy to overcome with potentially using AI and ChatGPT and plagiarizing ideas and concepts. And so there are going to be areas where there's going to need to be some intervention, but I think on balance, providing that intervention without stifling innovation is going to be the critical piece.
Hey, can you talk about your customer base? Because you guys are growing leaps and bounds, and 2025 is looking pretty exciting for you folks.
Yeah, we announced some really nice customer traction this past year. I think we start with Mitsubishi. They're one of the premier companies in the world supplying optical components such as EML lasers, which are kind of the backbone of the data center infrastructure today. And in partnership with Poet, they've been able to innovate. So I think the power of the Poet platform is it also allows our partners to innovate and create better and newer solutions. So on the heels of that, we also have partnerships with Luxshare and Foxconn. These are, of course, household names in the industry, serving giants in the industry, right? And so we're very happy to have them. And we also have a customer relationship with Mentech. All of these customer relations that we announced this past year has been, really targeted towards 800 gigabit per second and going to 1.6 terabit per second. So it's really on the bleeding edge of data communication infrastructure, which is where the world is and is headed in the future, faster. So because of AI.
Dr. Suresh Venkatesan, Chairman CEO, Poet Technologies, their ticker symbol is POET, joins us here today on the Big Biz Show.
Am I accurate in saying that because of your efforts, this plane lands where it makes AI more accessible for everybody? Is that about right?
Yeah, I think it's a circular argument. I think typically, I think it's, if you look at, just turn the clock back a couple of decades, there used to be computer hardware, power, processing, and then for a long time, it was the world of software.
Yeah.
And apps and, software essentially rule the world. Now, software has become so powerful that you need newer and better hardware. And then that cycle repeats, right? And so I think we're now in this phase, for perhaps the first time in about 20 or 30 years, where significant improvements in hardware are needed to continue the growth and power of software. And so that's why you see a lot of hardware chip companies and companies that are providing hardware infrastructure for AI doing really well, because there is a shortage of hardware and hardware infrastructure to be able to generate and move all of this data. And when that infrastructure is available, then I think more and more powerful software can be developed, and then the cycle continues. So for sure, we're in that cycle of improved hardware access that plays really, really well into our strengths right now.
First of all, again, AI and ChatGPT. Have you guys got involved in ChatGPT?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you? Because it's the difference between when we had Encyclopedia Britannica and Funk and Wagnalls,
Totally.
and the internet. Yeah, and that for us, right?
Right.
Now going into ChatGPT, it's almost like it's almost the magic wand. And Dr. Suresh Venkatesan and their company, Poet Technologies, is bringing it to light. I want you back on the air. I want you in San Diego, man. We got to spend a time with you and your staff here talking about this thing. It's amazing.
He is Dr. Suresh Venkatesan. Again, the company is Poet Technologies. He's the chairman CEO, and their ticker symbol is POET. Dr. Venkatesan.
How poetic.